Well, hello class, I am Dr. McGornan, and I just wanted to take a brief moment to welcome you to Old Testament Survey with John Brown University online, here for the fall 2020. I look forward to engaging the Old Testament with you, to getting into great discussions with you about the Old Testament and so forth. I just wanted to really offer a brief welcome video so you can see that I'm a real person on the other end of the line. Offer you a real brief sort of background on who I am and how I got here and how I got to be teaching this class, and to say a brief couple things about the class. First of all, my name is Sean David McGorran. I do prefer in the classroom that you call me Dr. McGorran. It's just a little bit more appropriate and so forth. It helps keeps boundaries in place and so forth. After class, feel free to call me Sean David. I hope we can be friends. I have been teaching for John Brown University now. I want to say it's getting close to 10 years. I'd have to go back and look, but I live in Olympia, Washington, as you probably will see from my bio, and I run, direct, and teach for a nonprofit music academy that I founded with my wife. I am from the Washington area. However, I did live in Arkansas for about 7 years in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and that's how I came to have a relationship with John Brown University. And it's kind of a cool story. I'd be happy to share with you sometime, but the long and the short of it is, I first took a graduate class at John Brown at the Fort Smith campus, graduate class in ethics, and later began to develop a relationship with the university, and was blessed with the opportunity to come on board as an adjunct faculty member. And I've been teaching Old Testament survey for many years since, and I've also taught ethics for John Brown as well. But it's a unique situation because most of John Brown's faculty live in Arkansas, but we were able, by God's grace, to move to Olympia and start this Academy of Music. And fortunately, John Brown allows me to continue to teach for them online, which is a tremendous blessing to me. My experience with the Old Testament is interesting. When I was first in seminary, which is the graduate school that most pastors and Bible scholars and professors go to study the Bible formally in theology and the things of God. When I was first in seminary, my experience with the Old Testament was pretty standard of what most seminary students is, which is that you have your Old Testament survey class just like this, only at a seminary level, and then maybe a couple of electives in the Old Testament. And it seemed very foreign to me, and it seemed very sort of distant to me. And I really did not grasp it, I think, the way that I pray I do today. It was several years later when my young daughters, who are now 18 and 16 at the time, were probably around 7 and 5 maybe. We were having home Bible time every week, and I asked them what they wanted me to teach. And they wanted to go through the Pentateuch, which of course is the first 5 books of the Bible. And so began doing that, and it was just as a family, and it was a really powerful thing. God really spoke to us through the Pentateuch, began to see God's beauty, God's mercy, His grace, His holiness in a new way. And my prayer is that in this class, while it's a short period of time, you are going to read a massive amount of material in that time. There's a lot of work to do, a lot of reading. I'm not saying that to scare you, I'm saying that to prepare you. And so it's going to be hard because you're going to be like drinking from a fire hose, just whoosh, constantly stuff at you, right? But my prayer is that you would take moments throughout the week to sit down and just read the scripture, not from an academic standpoint, but from a personal, spiritual standpoint. What is God saying? What is God telling us about who He is, about His desires for His people? What has He done? Those kinds of things. And so my goal as a professor in this class is going to be able to hopefully try to bridge the gap between the academic work that we do and then spiritually how it affects our life, how it should affect our life, and what God has called us to as His people. If you're an unbeliever, we're so glad you're here. And I want to have deep and meaningful conversations with you about the scripture as well. Obviously, we desire that you read. Make sure you have the textbook. If you don't have it, order it ASAP. We desire that you and want you to read and engage all of the materials that we put before you. By no means does that mean that you have to agree with them. If you're an unbeliever, I wouldn't expect that you would. So as far as contacting me, easiest way to get a hold of me is by email, my John Brown University email. Generally, I respond to you pretty quickly. I do teach here at the Academy from about noon Pacific Standard Time to about 7 Pacific Standard Time, Mondays through Fridays. So the best times to get a hold of me if you want to talk to me, and I'd be happy to chat with you, would be between about 10 a.m. and noon, my time, Pacific Standard Time. I do have office hours listed on Fridays. The way I do that is I'm not just sitting in my office. It just means that I guard that time and I don't schedule other things at that time. So if you want to chat with me, you want to set up a time to chat with me, please let me know. Otherwise, you're free to call me during my office hour times, which is Fridays from 10:30 a.m. To noon Pacific Standard Time. If you do send me leave me a voicemail, please do me a favor. Realize that, first of all, you'll get the TuneIn Academy. Don't freak out, that's me. And leave on the voicemail what class that you're in, because I do teach a number of classes for a couple of different universities, and I want to make sure that I'm getting back to you in the right context and so forth. So I will try. I like to offer in my online classes during the first week, if those of you that would be interested, to do like a Google Hangout or a Zoom session where we can just chat and get to know each other. If anybody's interested in that, shoot me an email or respond to this and let me know. I'd be happy to set one up, and I can offer some different times that might work and so forth, and we see what happens. Also, John Brown has asked us to do a little video doing a tour of the online classroom. If you need that, I'm happy to do it. I also realize that you're adults and probably know technology better than I do, even though I'm not as old as, some. I think you'll probably be able to understand the classroom just fine. If you need help with it, I'd be happy to walk you through that live over the phone, or I can even do a video on it. Anyways, too long already. Don't want to take up too much of your time. Please get the textbook if you haven't. Look around the classroom, familiarize yourself with everything in the classroom. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm so looking forward to this class. See you in the classroom.